Are you fascinated by the signs of the times like I am? I am watching what's happening up in the solar system with an array of 17 comets all coming in toward the Earth over the next several months. Well, or comets or interstellar objects. We're not sure what some of these things are. We're also in the middle of a solar maximum that happens every 11 years with the sun. So the sun is more susceptible to having coronal mass ejections. These holes send out waves of energy and it can hit the earth if those holes are facing the earth at the time of the ejections. And so we're getting some geostorms that are sending waves. I talked about that in my last video. If you're interested in that, check that one out. But what I want to talk about in this video is how we can look at this from a spiritual perspective, okay? Now, the sun itself is representative of Jesus Christ. In our solar system, he is the center. He's the center of our lives, just like the sun is at the center of our solar system, right? And so we're getting our light from him. So not only symbolically does the sun have a tie-in with Jesus Christ, but there's some real literal tie-ins with Jesus Christ, with the sun and the light specifically. So I'm going to take a look at Doctrine and Covenants 88. And as we go through this, we're going to look and think about the sun and what it's doing right now. It's sending extra energy toward the earth. This energy can impact us. We can use it either for good or for evil. We're getting energy boosts, and whatever we are, we're going to be more of. So if we tend to be hateful or fearful or rude, we're going to be more of that if we're not in some sense of self-control. Or we can take it and use it for good and for light and for hastening the Lord's work. We hear that term a lot in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that the Lord is hastening his work. And we've seen that they gave out some statistics in our last general conference that worldwide, in the first 6 months of 2025, we're up in baptisms, new members, by 20% worldwide over the previous year, so above 2024. Quinton Cook talked about this. And in the U.S., we're up 17%. We had a stake conference today. We're in the Tennessee Knoxville mission, and the Tennessee Knoxville mission is actually up 53% in baptisms, which is crazy for the South and the Bible Belt. So I think a lot of this is happening because the world it's getting more and more difficult to find truth, to know what is true, what is not. People are attracted to something that's going to give them a solid foundation to understand, what's right, what's wrong. They want somebody to tell it like it is and to have a standard of truth. And people are being drawn to that because the church stands firm in what it believes is true and doesn't wishy-wash with the times. Let's go to Doctrine and Covenants 88, and let's talk about Jesus Christ here a little bit. It talks about him ascending up on high in verse 6. And also he descended below all things, and that he comprehended all things, that he might be in all and through all things, the light of truth. So Christ is this light of truth that's in all things, through all things. He comprehends everything. He descended below it all. And through his atonement that he worked out and experiencing everything that we've experienced. Verse 7, which truth shineth, this is the light of Christ, as also he is in the sun, and the light of the sun, and the power thereof by which it was made. So he is in the sun, okay? He's that power by which is made. He's the light of it. Somehow, whether he's got an aura that fills the expanse of the universe, somehow he is in it all. And as also he is in the moon, and is the light of the moon, and the power thereof by which it was made, as also the light of the stars, and the power thereof by which they were made, and the earth also, and the power thereof, even the earth upon which you stand. So let's just take a look at this for a second and say, Christ is the sun. He's the power of the sun. He's controlling the light that is coming out of that sun. He's controlling those coronal mass ejections that are sending out plasma toward the earth, which is amplifying the earth with more energy, more creative energy, that if you're good, you can use to create new technological advances that are going to hasten the Lord's work. Or you're going to be a missionary out there who's got a sudden burst of energy to get out and hit 5 more doors every day, or whatever way you're finding new converts. Or you're like me, who wakes up in the night with ideas of how I could create something new, or write a new book, or get on here and make these videos or whatever. So we're getting the extra boost we need to hasten the Lord's work. And so it's able to move forward when we use it positively. Now, other people who might be wired for not good things, they could going to create problems. So you could be looting or destroying or doing things like that. This light is an energy boost that is coming from Jesus Christ. Could it be something that is giving us a little bit of an energy upgrade here to be able to do what is necessary to bring the Lord's work to pass? Verse 11 says, "And the light which shineth, which giveth you light, is through him, Jesus Christ, who enlighteneth your eyes, which is the same light that quickeneth your understandings." So there's also a lot of people talking about awakenings, and other people are being drawn to spiritual things. They may not think the way we do. They may not know it's Jesus Christ, but there's something quickening their understanding that there is something higher than themselves at play here. And that's going to wake them up to maybe listen and want to learn more about the truth. "Which light proceedeth forth from the presence of God to fill the immensity of space." Just like the sun, it's proceeding forth, filling the immensity of space. But not only, Christ is not just working our sun, he's working other suns throughout the universe and other things, holding it all together with his power. "The light which is in all things, which giveth life to all things, which is the law by which all things are governed. Even the power of God, who sitteth upon his throne, who is in the bosom of eternity, who is in the midst of all things." So the next time you hear about, oh, we're having a geostorm and the aurora borealis is coming lower, maybe down in the Midwestern states, or goodness, we had a couple times where we've seen them as low as down into Georgia. And that is an influx of energy and power coming from the sun. And Christ is in the sun. So whether he's giving us an upgrade of light, just more energy, or whether there could be data coming through that. Because if you think about, light has so many different properties, and one of them is it can carry data. You think of fiber optics, that's light carrying data. It carries healing. Different spectrums of light can heal the body. They have machines now that use light for healing. The light also has a transformative power. It can transform things from one state to another. So as you think about this light coming through from the sun to the earth, what kind of upgrade? What new energy? How can we use it to hasten the Lord's work? So instead of sitting there in your bed at night, you're restless because there's a geostorm and your body is feeling it and having energy, think about, okay, how can I funnel this energy instead of getting upset that I can't sleep and just laying there tossing and turning? How can you turn and use that? Maybe get up and read your scriptures, get up and do some journaling, do some meditation. Just think about, even if you got an elliptical or something in your house, go use it. That's going to be at least managing that energy in a positive way into building up your body. But how can you use it to create, make the world a better place? How can you use it to reach out and share the gospel with other people? If God's giving us this energy, let's don't waste it. Let's use it to hasten his work. Y'all take care. God bless.